Hi, and welcome to our 10-year anniversary update. I am Roberto. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director at Blue Alligator. Been with the company around 7 years now, and this is just a quick update on where we are, where we've come from, and where we believe we are going. I started with the company back in 2014, when sales was on its rise. CloudCart was in its early stages, and we were looking to grow. And I believe Ollie has been with the company quite a bit longer than that.
13 years, yep.
13 years. I'll let him introduce himself, and then we can go on to some other topics.
Yeah, so I'm Ollie. I've been with the company for 13 years. So working initially as a part of the development team. So I was heavily involved in the first versions of SalesPresenter. But I've moved across, so I'm now working in the support and implementation team. So I manage both of those teams.
So to answer that question, SalesPresenter was the natural progression from the products that we sold to the introduction of that product. Ollie will know more about that, so I'll hand over to him.
Yeah, so we sold something called PDA Sales, which was a PDA sales application. Okay, it ran on Windows devices, which are around the size of the phones that we use today. So that allowed order entry and also had a built-in barcode scanner generally. So that was what it was used for. So you go to shows and scan products onto that. Now, a lot of the time out on the road back in those days, and still some people work like this, where they take big heavy printed catalogs with all of their products in them, and some systems like we used with PDA Sales back then, they'd take the scanners with them and then they'd scan directly out of the catalog. So SalesPresenter was a natural progression from that. When the iPad was announced and Apple demonstrated that you could swipe through a photo album on the iPad, we thought it would be a perfect replacement for PDA Sales and the need for the printed catalogs. So instead of taking along these big printed catalogs, making sure they're all updated, which was a laborious task for everyone, instead of doing that, pull the information directly from your system, okay, and show them on the SalesPresenter on the iPad screen itself. Just be able to swipe through them and choose the products.
Excellent. And at that time, it was, like you said, predominantly trade shows. That was one of the biggest restrictions, is that really you'd have to have a local network, you'd have to have a copy of the system to be able to process those orders. So there's still a lot of manual work. Even if you had changed from paper order entry, you were still having to do a lot of manual work. And yes. I think a lot of the team members at Blue Alligator spotted the need, definitely. And the great thing is that Blue Alligator, having developed this product, were 6 months to market, prior to any competitor. So that jump ahead of the game really shows through now, because the product is so further advanced in terms of its functionality and the amount of helpful features for our customers. So that's a really positive thing that came out of getting to market as soon as possible.
Absolutely, yeah. What also was a big leap forward for a lot of people was the introduction of our cloud system. So previously, like Roberto mentioned, you had to have a local network if you're going to be using any application like PDA Sales. So at these trade shows, you would obviously have to have a copy of your database effectively on a local network at that show. So people will be taking these big computers, okay, and have to, at the end of the day, have to make sure all of the devices were all connected to the network, so that you could then process your orders. Okay, and when I say process the orders, that'd be putting it onto that local copy of the database, and you'd only able to get those orders into your system back in the office once you finish the show and you're taking your computer back, and then you do a synchronization of the local database that you've taken with you with what's going on in your back office system.
Yeah.
So with that, we introduced the cloud. Okay, which is going to be your midway point between whatever system you're using and SalesPresenter. Okay, so that allows people to upload orders as long as they've got an internet connection. They upload those orders, and the cloud talks directly to your server, which has got your back office system in it. So instead of people having to wait until the end of the show, okay, could be able to upload their orders at the end of the day, okay, or even during the day, and those orders are already in your system and processing. So the cloud is a big step forward in that sense as well.
Okay, so the progression of the company, or specifically, has been pretty quick growth. So when I entered the company around 7 years ago, obviously the product had been around for about 3 years, and there was already a base of maybe 800 freemium version customers where they were using it on a really basic level, uploading spreadsheets to the cloud, and maybe about 100 premium fully integrated clients. And we are now sitting quite comfortably at over 400 integrated clients, with a total of nearing 2,000 basic users. That gap seems to be closing just because of the requirement for integration, the uprise of automation, and how businesses are realizing that low value work needs to be replaced by software and other solutions. So it's been phenomenal watching the growth and seeing the kind of clientele that we've seen come on board. We've also had the introduction and the growth of CloudCart, which has got to a point now where we're looking to rebuild that and make that, take that to the next level, and really open up some pretty slick API work with other cloud systems, and full cloud integrations, which is looking pucker, really, really cool. It's almost as if how advanced our product is really starting to suit the higher level clientele, which is great. But we of course support every size of business in the best way we can. Ollie, did you want to have a chat about the support team maybe, and how we've grown there, and how we manage those sorts of areas of the business?
Yeah, both the support and implementation teams have obviously had to grow with the business. Obviously, in the early days, we didn't have quite as many people on board to help support. But as obviously the need and the numbers increased for us, obviously we had to increase the number of support people to make sure that obviously everyone's covered. And we have a very, very good size, and all the team are very knowledgeable. I
would definitely personally say that the support team is phenomenal. We get very high levels of review from our clients, existing clients and new clients especially. The onboarding process has improved vastly over the last couple of years, where especially as Ollie has taken the lead on those teams, the structure, the process has been completely revamped. Customers can get onboarded. They have a lot more transparency in terms of how the system will work for them and what they can achieve and what they may or may not have to wait for. But on the flip side of that, the new process enables customers to realize just how much they can take advantage of on day one. A big hesitation for clients is that they'll come on board and they'll want to start on a really smaller scale, and then they come to realize that actually the way that the system works and the way that the onboarding now works enables them to take on 60% of the functionality rather than 30 on day one, which is really, really great to see. And it actually helps us in the sales team because it enables us to build confidence in the clients, and we have more confidence selling because of the communication and the transparency internally as well as externally. Plans for the future of Blue Alligator, as many existing clients will know, and any ongoing prospective clients will also know, we have built Import Buyer. So yes, we've worked very heavily over the last 10 years in terms of enhancing the sales team and sales processes. We now are looking to move more into the buying side of businesses to bring those two teams closer together. I think that over the last 10 years, the teams have been supporting a lot of legacy clients who use our old product X Suite. And the problem that has been highlighted is that actually there's a big gap between when the buyers go out and source products, gathering interest for those products, understanding the landed costs of those products, or at least estimating as close as possible to what they could be, raising purchase orders and processing them as quickly as possible for the salespeople to then get out and get that stock allocated to clients. And the way that the Import Buyer has been built enables it to be in the same cloud as SalesPresenter and CloudCart, which will bring as best as we can those two systems as closely knitted as possible. And so as we move forward, we're looking to continue to support and grow Sales Presenter and CloudCart as time goes on. So more heavily into the cloud connection world, and now bringing the buying teams into that as well. And we've already seen some successes in that with a few clients coming on board, which is great. And again, that same onboarding process that I spoke about earlier has been adopted for the new products, and it's working a treat. It's really doing its paying dividend now. So yeah, that's kind of where we're looking to go and grow our base for that product.
So the functionality of Sales Presenter has obviously been increasing throughout the 10 years that it's been live. I think for the first 8 years or so, we're actually releasing about one new version. I think it averaged out to be about one new version every 1 or 2 months. And some of those versions obviously had some big updates. In fact, in the last year, we've released another big update which allows sales order export, which some people might not yet be aware of. But that allows customers, or allows you to send an email to a customer with a link so they can download a CSV, including all the information that you want them to have, such as the barcode information. That's something that obviously a lot of people would want to share with their customer via a CSV. So I'm sure there's a link to that somewhere.
Yeah, and that is so true. And even when I started at Blue Alligator 7 years ago, I used to be really proud to say that we had maybe 200 or 300 different settings and functions in the cloud that you could, drop down, tick boxes, etc., of different features. We're now sitting well over 1,000. So to see that growth in functionality just in the time I've been here, it's just, a complete showcase of what will happen with any new products we bring on. Anything like that. It's inevitable that the products will grow with time, and that is our objective, is to do that. Thank you for taking the time to check out our 10-year anniversary video highlight of the past 10 years. It's been great chatting with Ollie and hearing about the time prior to myself and how the idea came about. If you want to learn more about our existing or new products, then I'm sure that the contact details will be somewhere on the screen now for you to check out. And I've been Roberto, happy to speak to anyone who's interested, and I'm sure Ollie would be happy to speak to any existing customers about helping them with anything that they need. Bye for now.